It's time for another Dice Tower review with Z. Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I'm taking a look at the follow-up to Broom Service here. Broom Service, the card game. As you can see, very similar covers there. And now Broom Service, which now has Broom Service, the card game, is originally based on a card game called Witch's Brew, but Witch's Brew and Broom Service are really nothing alike. If you're confused, don't worry about it. Let me show you how this works, then we'll come on back and I'll tell you what I think of it, what I think of it compared to its big brother. Here we go. Players are trying to get the most victory points, and they are going to do that in one of two ways. They're going to collect lots of the same kinds of potions, which, as you can see here, the more you have of each, the more points you get. And also you get points for making these combinations listed here and taking that card. That'll be worth 5 victory points. And so, at the beginning of the game, each player is given a hand of cards, which depends on the number of players. You set up the deck as well. In this case, I have a game set up for 4, so some of the cards have been removed. The 21s here would be out of the game in this case, and the 22s would be out of the game. So these are not shuffled in for right now. Everything else is good to go. Everyone has their starting cards. And then everyone also, we flip over from the deck of cards 4 of the witch cards, and everybody starting from the star player, I'll say it's this one. They take one of these and they put it in front of them in the cowardly position. Here's what this means. You are, as I said, collecting potions, and you're going to collect them in one of two ways. Brave or coward, okay? When you collect a card in the brave fashion, it is simply worth more to you. As you can see in this one, you have 2 potions of the kind depicted on the card, and one special one courage potion, if you would. And then if you take it cowardly, which is a safer bet, you get less. I'll explain a little bit more of that in just a second. But for now, everybody gets one in the cowardly position, meaning face up to them. So right side up, or technically it's upside down, but like so. And so each of these players has their starting position. Then everybody takes a look at their hand of cards, and they are going to pick 3 of these that they are going to play with this round. Game's 4 rounds, by the way. I'm just going to do it randomly for now. Everybody picks their 3, and the start player begins. On your turn, you are going to take a card, and you are going to play it from those 3 you have. And you have a choice of 2 things. You can play the card out and say brave, witch, or you can play cowardly. Cowardly is safe. As soon as you play cowardly, you are guaranteed to have that. No one can take that away from you, but of course you are getting less. If you say brave, and I will do that now, then the next player takes a look at their hand and they say next. That means they don't have that color. The next player takes a look at their hand. They also say next. And the last player takes a look at their hand. Next as well. This player is safe. However, if... let's find one for my friend over here. If this player had that card instead, they could then themselves say, no, I am playing brave, in which case the previously played brave card is canceled and turned face down. And so if I play cowardly and they play brave, meaning the last player there, they get that and I keep my cowardly card. So you push your luck by saying, I am the brave one, and hope no one after you wants to either has it and or wants to call it, right, that they are the brave. You could even say brave over here, and then have this player have one in their hand, and they'll say cowardly, because they're thinking one of the other players is going to have it. They'd rather guarantee it than just momentarily take it away from the first player to then, in turn, lose it themselves. And that's really it. And so, to go backing up here to our original example, this player played. It, in fact, went all the way through as brave. And they would pick another one, and they might say brave again. And this player says, no, I'm brave. This one's canceled. And then this player says pass, and this player passes as well. Great. they get to keep it and they'll play. They're going to play this one, Brave. And this player passes, and this player doesn't have it. This player passes as well. They get to keep it. This is the same as that one, so they know they can get away with Brave. They would start the next round yet again, so it just goes to the next player, and they'll be playing cards. Again, you don't have to start with Brave. It's risky, in fact. You can just say, I'm going to guarantee one potion and be on my way. This continues until everybody has played all of their cards, which again sometimes gets denied. And then at the end of the round, you check if anyone guaranteed one of these. If you have enough potions to get one of the special cards, you take it. It'll be worth 5 points to you. If 2 people make them at the same time, which is likely, then one of them will get this, flip it over to the 5 points, and the other player or players will just get a 5-point card from over here. These are not replenished throughout the game. These are all the ones that are going to be available. All right? So that's it. And then at the end of the round, also, everybody gets 3 new cards to replenish their small deck of cards here. They will look through it once again. They will pick the 3 they want to play with and play a second round. You play 4 rounds. At the end of those 4 rounds, you add up how many potions you have of each kind, including the Brave potions, those wild colored ones, and you figure out how many points you get. So let's say, for example, that I have both of these cards here at the end of the game, and that is 4 of those red potions. That's going to give me 3 victory points here. And then if I have 2 of the wild potions, that's going to give me 1 victory point. So you definitely want lots of the same, and that's how you win the game. That's pretty much it. Let's go back up top and let me give you some final thoughts about Broom Service, the card game. I really enjoy Broom Service, and except for a couple of visual clarity issues that I have with the board in this game, I think it's fantastic. It's a great family plus kind of weight game that you can actually ramp up from there, make it a little more difficult, add some great tactics to it. It's very solid. Broom Service, the card game, is really nowhere close to that as far as how involved it is. This is a really, really light game that pretty much just salvages that one aspect of Broom Service, the push your luck, which is not all there is in Broom Service. There's more to that game. Special powers and ways to manipulate things, ways to get into people's heads, things like that. In this one, it's just that getting into people's heads and picking the right card, which they might not even have. Now, you have 15 cards or 17 cards or whatever, depending on the number of players. So you're likely to have what you want. And the player next to you is likely to be able to block you, but maybe not. In Broom Service, they can block you. They maybe shouldn't, it might not be the right play, but they have the cards to do so, And so there's that in this game. But mainly, the thing that sort of surprised me and took some warming up to for me was how light this game is. It's incredibly light. It just floats away. The choices are just binary, and that's it. In the other game, there are more implications. In this one, it's just that cowardly or brave idea. That's it. And the implications to that are just apparent. There's not a whole lot of depth here. And so I liked the game fine. I'm just worried about replayability here. Those moments of haha, I got you, while great, can only go so far when that's all there is. So for me, this is one I do enjoy. I thought it was fine, but it's not one that I would go out of my way to play or acquire, and it's one that, while I would sit down and play with you, I probably won't play, twice in a row or even twice in the same day or anything like that. There's just not that much here, unfortunately. Another thing that's a pet peeve of mine is I'm not sure why these games have basically the exact same cover. If I see a picture of this game or this one, maybe without the bottom here, without a reference as to how big the box is, I don't even know which one I'm looking at pretty much. So, not sure why this doesn't have its own new cover. It borders on laziness, And unfortunately, maybe that applies to the design a little bit, a little something more, just a little extra idea. would have taken this one a long way. As it is, it's okay, but one that, unless you love that aspect that was apparent in the overview of, do I push my luck or not, which I normally do like, unless you adore just that in a game, then I think you can safely pass on this one. For me, again, it's sort of like, it's okay, you know? It's just nothing I'm going to be writing home about, you know? So there you have it, sort of a middle-of-the-road reaction from me for Broom Service, the card game.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.